Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your girl Amaya Desire, along with the beautiful Sherelle and the homies. Good more. We in here, episode 2 for Harlem. Okay, and we are all triggered. What's up, y'all? How y'all feeling?
Very much triggered.
Hashtag
Very, very
triggered.
triggered.
Right.
Hashtag. That should be the hashtag for real. Like hashtag triggered. Oh
Exactly.
my gosh! All right, let's kick this off real quick. Your girl Angie. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. She is my least favorite character. She's loud as fuck. Okay, and I'm not judging her for the loudness. I'm judging her for where the loudness is at. Like in a boutique talking about her fucking what was that the goddamn Get Out Broadway musical and shit. And I'm like, you at work cursing like this, ma'am? What is? I'm not loud, so y'all know I can't really say nothing. I know who is loud over here, but I ain't gonna say no names though. I'm gonna just throw it. I'm gonna just throw it to Jamal. How you feeling about her?
I'm shocked that you don't like Angie. I love Angie. I think Angie, like I said before, I relate to her a lot. She reminds me a lot of myself. She is that friend that's like, you got to take a doses. You can't have too much at one time. But with all that she comes with, she also comes with that point of view that you also need, because she also comes from a very real place.
I agree.
Like, she had a point to stand her ground with Homeboy. He came to her off of like a hotep vibe.
He really did.
And I was just like, as soon as he was saying it, I was like, first of all, wait a minute. What are they talking about? Who would have the idea to do a Get Out musical? Where would that fly?
No,
how would that get back? Where would that go? But I think Angie, she's the perfect icebreaker, I think.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if she has a sixth sense to when the tension is getting too thick in the room, but she always comes in with that loudness that you don't like and mix
right
it
on time
with that person who might be struggling. So I'm still rooting for Angie. I think she's gonna win you over, as the episode.
Let's see.
But I'm with her. Sherelle, what you think?
She's neck and neck with Quinn. They are not my favorite. However, what I respect about her though is she's a straight shooter, and she says no when it doesn't align with what she wants. And for me, it's like, it gotta make sense.
Yo, it's the way Sherelle be dropping this cat, bro. Like, they always land on their feet. It's okay.
She's fine. But for me, I mean, I like that she just says no, right? She if she doesn't want to do it, she's not going to do it. And I know in like the first episode, I was like, you need a job. This is one of the situations where I'm like, okay, Sherelle, you don't take everything that comes to you. This is not it. Like, what? Like, where the way that he spilled it to her, like he really took her on a wild goose chase.
He did.
I was really trying to figure out where we were going with this whole thing, and he was like, it's a revolutionary, and I'm just like, okay, so maybe it's gonna be like a Black Power type situation, and it's like, like a Black Panther movement type of situation, and then he said it's a Get Out musical, and I'm done.
I wasn't ready for
her facial expressions and everything, and then after the porn comment, I was like, okay. I was like, I'm out of here. I would be like, no, thank you, sorry.
I will say she's a really good, like, her facial expressions. I love those. She's really like dope in how she reacts to certain things, and I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, Get Out the musical is a strong no for me. If this were American Idol, I think all three of us, it's safe to say, would be hitting buzzers. Yes.
Yeah,
it's not gonna work.
Can I say one other thing about Angie though? I think it touches on what you were saying about her facial expressions. I think she is like a human bullshit detector, and that's where she was going as he was just going on, because she was like,
right,
so where are we going?
Yeah, she was.
What are you trying to sell me?
Yeah,
Get there. Sell me the point.
She was not having it. He sold it to her. She did not buy it though. She
at all.
declined that purchase. Okay, for real. And I mean, rightfully so, because none of us would have gone to see Get Out the musical. All right, so
absolutely
not happening. So let's move on to our next little firecracker. Okay. Woo, child, Ty. You wanted to break up with this girl, and she wanted to break up with you. She was pulling a you on you, and you ain't like that shit. Okay, so now, you here, and you go and you bring home this girl who then eats your leftover. First of all, let's pose this question, okay? Before we get into all that, this is for you and the people who are watching, right? On a scale of 1 to 5, how mad are you that somebody ate your goddamn leftovers?
Oh, I'm pissed. Like, hold on. I gotta remember, this is not me in real life right now.
No, this is you. I'm talking about you. Like,
I'm pissed. I do not play that, and I'm gonna tell you why. That's another triggering point. I'm the youngest, so like, I dealt with that all my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my brother would eat. He would eat my food, drink my drinks, take my game. Like, I was always like, where's mine at? And so for somebody like, especially a complete stranger, you just thought I picked up for the moment, and you caught me off guard while I was knocked out because the head game was good. And
apparently so. Sleep.
You know what I'm saying? It was a sleeping pill, and you had the nerve to eat my leftovers, and it's like that moment when you made your lunch and you left it at home because you was rushing to go to work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good point. That's a great analogy. That's a very on point analogy. How about you, Sherelle?
So for me, one thing about me is I'm not really big with leftovers, but when I am,
she fancy.
Listen,
I'm not big on leftovers, but yeah. Okay, girl. I hear you.
Good. I want it the next day. And that's just like, it's so funny because it triggered me because I had a situation where an ex would always eat my leftovers or drink something that I had. And I'm like, where's this? Where's that? And it's like, oh, I ate it. I drank it. So it's triggering. But don't touch the leftovers. First of all, if I bring it home, I wanted it.
That point.
So don't touch
right
it.
There. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to eating it. And then, first of all, sis, this is not your house
at all.
And then,
in my fridge.
I had this little sprinkle of something. She wasn't a young woman. She was a whole grown, older lady. You know better. Where your man is at, and why you going to the refrigerator while they sleeping?
She had no.
And then the other thing I was peeping: do people really fall asleep like this after sex and don't know that people are leaving their houses?
This is a good question. I'm gonna plead the fifth on this. I think my mama might be watching, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave that one right there.
And I'm trying to think of my experiences, and I'm just like, how are people not knowing that people leaving their house?
It depends on the situation.
But how do you can leave, but how do you not know they leaving?
Okay, hey, so
ADP gonna go off and be like,
listen. If you got one of them beds,
you did not expect yourself to fall asleep. Therefore, I ain't know I was even gonna fall asleep. So, what they gonna do? They wide awake. I'm not. All they can do is help themselves to the door.
I'm gonna just
or the refrigerator.
I'm gonna tap you real lightly. Excuse me. Oh, he's not.
You ain't tapping me when I'm sleeping. Coma.
I'm gonna send you a text so that when you wake up in the morning, you can.
That's why I don't do sleepovers, or why I don't invite people to my house.
That wasn't intentional.
Listen. All I know was that Ty is wild. She is, let's talk about her having this GQ spread, right? Which is amazing. She got a GQ spread. But, as her career is, exploding and upward, it seems like her relationship and her love life is gonna this very weird volcanic route to wherever it's going. And I'm interested to hear your points of view on this whole breakup situation, because that was a shit show. Like, I'm totally confused. What did you think about that, Sherelle?
This is like one of those situations where two masculine people usually have the upper hand in relationships, or one masculine person has the upper hand. So now you have two masculine people that have the, that are normally the dominant ones and have the control. And they are on the same page with things ending, but when you already have it in your mind that you're going to end it, and then the person ends it first, it's like your ego's bruised a little bit.
Yes, absolutely.
Her ego was bruised, and then she overreacted about her ego being bruised.
Mm-hmm.
So most people gonna play it cool, and then they're gonna be mad later. They're gonna show their emotions about it later. She showed her emotions, and she showed her entire ass in this restaurant.
She did.
And I know people was like,
what the hell is going on here?
What's happening right now? Yeah. She showed her entire ass. And then the lady, like, I don't remember her name, but the way she handled it was almost as like very passive aggressive. And that probably didn't help either. And she's like, I was just like, this is
she's like, I'm so hard. This is so sorry that this is bothering you so much. Like,
yeah, it was very like passive aggressive, very sarcastic, and it probably didn't help at all because her ego was
very sarcastic,
and then the way she was handling her, it's like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I agree. What about you, Jamal?
I agree with everything. Honestly, it's like I think that when it comes to Ty, she has like a god complex because she's used to being the one in control. She starts it and she ends it.
Yeah.
And if it's still going on, she's telling you what role you're playing. You're not picking your role. She's gonna run this like a well-oiled machine, and the minute it starts to not run her way, is like you said, her ego got bruised and she didn't know how to handle it, and she showed her ass. From the beginning, I was like, she's having, as you said, a you pulled on you. Like everything she's used to doing to other women, she's now getting done to her.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious because I know so many people like that. And if, oddly enough, it is women that I know that, especially the ones that have more domineering personality, that always be like, well, I don't appreciate how you, and I'm just like, but this is what you would do if you were the one severing ties. So I think that's where she's lying at. And I think she actually might, I think if we go along, she might be like coming up on a semi midlife crisis, because everything
I was just about to say that.
Her way.
Yeah.
Life is slowly showing her you can't have control of everything.
Yeah.
I think that's where I think that's the road she's on now. And can I just say that sex scene, like I don't know who the director is.
I don't know insecure vibe.
But when I say I felt like I was in the, like, is this a threesome? Like, my Lord, right there. And I was like,
oh my gosh, I got to say something. I was watching that and I looked at Dakota and I was like, oh my God.
That's that moment like that. It's a gift. It's the pop eating the popcorn from Scary Movie. It was that moment like, but I bet you she's pulled that same move. She's ate somebody leftovers and kept it pushing. Now it's like,
I don't think she did that.
This bitch done set me up. It's kind of
Ty is something else, I just watching that scene, her, and again, back to what you said, Jamal, her dominating, personality was like, like, hey, get to work, and then waking up the next morning and finding your leftovers on. It's like kind of like serves you right, but no, not going in your fridge as no strangers. That is not the way to go. That's how you get beat the hell up. But we not gonna go there. So
we get popped for that.
Listen, now on to Sherelle's second least favorite person. Okay, Quinn. She's a very interesting character, to say the least.
That's a good word.
Okay?
That's a good word.
Because I don't understand like, so, and it goes back to what you said, Jamal, in episode 1. You're like, I think it was you. You said that her line wasn't making her any money, and here we are, right? Episode 2, and we realized this hoe broke. Like, you look real lavish, but you broke as hell. We gonna get to that real quick. But Whitley with a Caribbean accent,
Baby.
Child.
Like when I saw the preview, I didn't hear it there.
I didn't either.
But to hear it now, I'm like, where did this come from?
But you know, at first I was thinking it was like, because it wasn't given Jamaican, like African.
Yes, I don't know what's. Yeah.
I was like, okay, is this like an Italian accent? Is this
it was confusing.
I was confused. And then I was like, okay, here we go with, you know, the more of the Jamaican, you know, accent, or the African descent, you know, accent. I was like, what?
Well, I know that Grace is from the Cayman Islands, so maybe, I think she's from the Cayman Islands, so maybe it's like
in real life.
In real life, so I think it's a nod to her background, because I know they've done that.
Definitely African descent, like Trinidadian
or something.
Like,
yeah, it was something, but I'm not sure what it was given. I'm not going to tell y'all what
I
thought
in
it
and
was.
Out.
It was just. I did, but that's why I was saying.
But that's why I was
confusing. Yeah,
I
that's why I was
British at first.
Anyway, homegirl is broke, and again, back to Angie. Child, I need listen. I just want Angie to have some damn tact. You hear me? Tact, because if that was, we would have been fighting in that restaurant. You blurting out my business like that to my mom, and I'm over here trying to figure it out in front of this new supposedly mentor. Like, what is happening? Like, how do we feel about her being broke and having to ask her mama, her parents, for another loan of money with what's going on with her? What you think is wrong?
I think, funny enough, Quinn and Ty had the same issue. But it's not so much as a God complex; it's a control issue. Where Quinn likes to show she likes to show the image of having her life in control, but it's not in control. And so when she got that notice from her landlord that the rent was going up $2,500, first of all, what?
First of all, so the rent went up a whole nother rent, like the rent went up to a whole nother mortgage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Child. Okay.
But I actually the exchange between her and her mother humanized her image in my view, because the first episode I was like, okay, she's privileged and she has a warped sense of mind. But that exchange between her and her mom, you already sense the tension when she first complained about having to go to her parents. And now that she's actually going to her parents, you see the dynamic of where she's coming from, where she's saying about how, you know, not feeling good enough, or because she hasn't done this and she hasn't achieved that, and how it's thrown in her face. And even her own mom says, me and your father are your only customers. And Will looks at her business, excuse me, my allergies. She looks at her business as a charity.
Right. Listen, that was big shade.
I don't know, but she looked at what her passion was as a charity, as if she wanted to be successful for it. So I actually felt for Quinn in this episode, in that part of this episode.
Yeah. What about you, Sherelle?
One thing is, like, when you're a business owner or entrepreneur, it's hard to ask for handouts. And I think she could have possibly, you know, started her business off of her parents' funds, or, you know, maybe like, what's the thing you call for the rich kids?
Trust fund.
The trust fund. There we go. Thank you. My brain wasn't working. A trust fund. So she could have used, you know, some money from her parents' or trust fund or something. So it's hard to ask your parents for something, especially when you know that your parent don't support what you're doing. And then, like, back to what Jamal saying, is like, it's a charity to her. It's like, it's not really a business. It's, I'm funding this because this is what you're doing, but it's not really giving what we needed to give. It's not
Right.
making you any money. And then let's
Yeah.
talk about this damn lady that keeps coming into this store and don't buy nothing. Why are you here?
Karen.
Take it
Karen,
upstairs.
please leave. Like,
Please don't come back.
Can I say
Mhm.
one thing you mentioned though about the trust fund? That's what's paying her rent.
that's what I was gonna say. I feel like
Yeah,
as an
absolutely. Yeah,
entrepreneur,
it's
you have to
definitely-
live scaled down for your business to scale up. And she is living lavishly for somebody who doesn't have any money. So therefore, it's a very weird dynamic because I do feel for her. I totally understand it. And for anybody who has like international parents or really hard ass parents, period, there's this thing about like, oh, become a doctor, become this and that, and do things that actually are going to make you big in life, and you're like, oh, I'm an artist, I want to draw, and like, drawing doesn't make any money. You know what I mean? So you're gonna paint your way up into, rich, and like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and what's crazy too is the fact that like she has Angie there. And of course, Angie lives with her. Does Angie live there? Angie lives with
Yes.
her.
Yes, she lives with her.
And then
she's
works with
jobless
her.
too.
And that's hard. That's also like a hard, like you're taking on a lot. Like you're taking on a business and you're taking on a homeless person that works with you. So it's almost like I work with you, but I'm gonna live with you rent free because I work for you until I get a job.
Right.
I don't want a friendship like that. I mean, I feel like it's just like
it's like a circle. It's like it's like
tax write off.
Yeah. It's given, almost like a foster child,
It's like a leash. It's
I'm waiting for you to go.
Very bad situation. Yeah, this is actually a very bad situation. Now that we've actually like really looked at it, it's giving homeless and Home Alone 2 up in here because they need to get their shit together. Like y'all need to figure it out. Like they're unsupervised.
Yeah. And can I also say that her mother has like it's like she has like a I told you so, or like a shitty, shady position. Shady.
Yeah.
There we go. Because even mentioning when she connects with the old boyfriend, and she's like, "Oh yeah, that's right, you do know each other." Like, Mom, don't give me like
don't do that shit.
And now and then you gonna tell me to say hi to his wife,
his pregnant wife.
Add insult to injury. You keep I'm uncomfortable seeing him, and then you gotta mention he got a wife, and then she's not around, and she about to bust it wide open right here.
Listen, water about to break. Hello, clearly, but
messy.
Child. Speaking of exes, though, let's get to this last person, honey, because Camille is a shit show for the works. Okay, triggered, all up and down in the sea. You hit me. Mad, was about to throw my laptop in the middle of the street and let somebody run over it. Like, for real, that's what we doing? Like,
that's funny.
I'm confused, really and truly, by what I can't even. I'm just really trying to figure it out. Okay, so you see this man, you avoid this man, you run into, and she's very weird. She's a little awkward too, if I might say so. Like she's a little awkward, doesn't deal with confrontation very well. Like
she just has social anxiety.
Well, maybe
social anxiety.
I feel like it's
awkward.
Yeah, like, well, yeah, you're right. So like certain situations make her uncomfortable. Yeah, okay. So you see Brittany or Robin, what is this girl's name? I have no idea. Don't give me the line. Who's friends, who she's showing up with to go to the engagement party, right? She gets there and she, first of all,
don't let go, Jack.
Listen, that is the worst themed engagement party of the entire existence of life. You hear me? From 0900 BC to 2022 that's getting ready coming. This is the absolute worst engagement theme I've ever come across in my entire life.
It was awful.
It was trash.
The orchestra and everything.
Where was everybody at? Did you see how empty it was?
Because they knew what they was signing up for, and they didn't want that shit. Okay, they said, "Who's getting married? No, we ain't going to that shit. We
They did
watch
not.
Netflix and
It's
chill."
too cold. It's too cold.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that. So yeah, so the theme was trash. Okay, the girl was definitely awkward and weird, but so was Camille. And you know, she's here after meeting her mentor, right? Or I guess HR, who's telling her, like, I got suspended. They think my point of view wasn't right. And now I might not get, you know, I'm suspended. You might not get the promotion that you were hoping for. So that's already going to be a damper on her spirit. Now she's showing up here. She runs into her ex, who then brought a date. A date. Okay. Now she got to be even more awkward. And the girl is talking to herself after the boy done walked away. Shorty, what is happening in these streets here? And then you leaving, you manage to make your escape. Okay. He's outside. Y'all smoke a little. And then you kiss him. For why, though? For why? For like,
fine as hell. I would have kissed him too.
Oh, Sherelle, focus.
Diamond.
Listen, I mean, yes, he is fine, but like, Lord have mercy. But you know what? I could tell something was up. But what's the girlfriend? Let's talk about this, and you guys can kind of take it from here. Was the girlfriend or whomever? Because he just introduced her as this is.
So,
he didn't say he didn't say girlfriend. He didn't say fiance. He just said this is. And that was that. And I don't know, but I didn't see a ring on her finger. So now how is the conversation that they have at the stairwell? First of all, don't show up to my house. Listen, all right, listen, I'm going to just throw it. Go ahead, Jamal. I'm going to just throw it over to you.
I'm with you. So I'm going to start from it all. Y'all can tell me if I'm tripping or not. But for a moment, I thought the kiss was like a dream.
I did too.
Something in my head, like, you know how they always do that in shows where
nowadays.
Yeah, and it's just like you see that person, then they just start daydreaming, and then it's like, and then, oh yeah. I legit thought it was that.
Yeah,
me too. Until old girl came outside and he got the, wiping the lipstick off his lips and everything like that. No good can come from this. Now I don't know what the British babe's position is in his life. I don't know if that's the fiance. I don't know if that's just a good friend. I don't know who she is.
He said they're engaged.
He said he was
engaged.
Yeah.
It was her
girl because she title is missing. It's her name. This is so and so. Title not here.
Because I would have been upset or feeling some kind of way if my fiance introduces me as just Aisha. It's like that title comes with it. This is Aisha, my fiance. So I get what you're saying. So okay.
But then to show up at my house, like we already discussed what the feelings were when we had this kiss. When we had this kiss, and it was awkward already just to be face to face. Right. And now you show up at my house, you already know what it was because we both said that we seen each other when we try to fake like we didn't see each other.
Right.
It's like he is that perfect rendition of the worst type of man for you that thinks he's the best type of man for you.
Ooh, wow.
The guy who thinks he's a nice guy.
Good intentions, but has the worst follow through. I'm sweet talking you all day long, but I got a wife at home. I'm giving you all this attention, but I don't want your title. That's the vibe I'm getting from this reconnection, and it's just
triggered. Come over here.
The whole thing, as I'm watching this, I'm just thinking of Kirby Break Her Heart. Hey, you can break her heart for me. Like,
oh, that's funny.
But Sherelle, what you think? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. How we
right now. Let's go back to the engagement party or the bridal shower, whatever the hell that was. It was a
Engagement
damn
party. Yeah.
disaster. One, we don't know who this lady is, and I did assume that she was his fiance once he said he was engaged. And if she is his fiance, then I would feel some kind of way about not being introduced as your fiance, even your girlfriend. They're awkward, and all three of them are awkward.
Agreed.
But she should have dropped off her gift and left. She knew he was going to be there. She was expecting him to be there by himself. And seeing him with someone else made it even more awkward for her. Leave. So when they got into the courtyard, well, when she got into the courtyard and he was outside smoking, cool, we can catch up. We ain't have to kiss.
Right. Yeah. That part.
But I can also see it being as all of these years, and I'm seeing you again, all of those emotions come rushing back, and that happens. So we kiss. Okay, cool. Don't come to my house.
Don't come to my house.
And don't come to my house knowing that you're engaged. Because
Hello.
to me, that is disrespectful to all parties involved.
Agreed.
We don't really need to talk about it. Honestly, like we can kind of just like let it be what it is. And if you were going to come to my house,
don't do that.
I wish he had her number.
Not at night. Yeah, just come during the daytime when it feels
come in the daytime
more respectful.
Yeah, but I can appreciate her honestly being extremely open and vulnerable in that moment.
I'm not for it, and I'm telling you why. Because
entire beings.
Yeah, no. You don't. First of all, if anybody I used to date with shows up with a date and they look real close, I'm gonna just assume for my well-being, I'm gonna just assume, right? And so even if they show up at my house, I'm gonna let you talk first because I want to know what's going on before I make a fool out of myself, which is what she did.
Yeah.
On one side, she made a fool out of herself. On the other side, she was vulnerable, open, and speaking her truth. And I get that. But now you're putting yourself in a very weird space to say that you regret letting this man go. You should have tried harder. And now he's here to tell you that, yeah, we kissed, but I'm engaged.
That's why I said this. That's the example of the worst type of guy. Because I mean, let's be honest with each other real quick. We all have been in relationships, long-lasting relationships, where our exes know us. Even if a long time has passed, we were together so long, our exes know what they can do to
that back door, right? That little passage.
You know what I'm saying? And he knew very well once he kissed her that he had her wide open. So him coming to the house later on, what did you expect? What type of conversation you think you about to have with your ex of? I don't know. They never say how many years they were together. They only say it's been 4 years since they broke up.
Yeah.
You
4
never.
years is a long time.
Let me tell you something. This is not about me.
When you
but 4 years is a long time to want to rekindle, and you showing up with a date. I just would have thought. I would have just thought the worst.
I got more years.
But on the flip side of that, though, Amaya, if you're single and you haven't moved on into another fruitful, healthy relationship,
that's true.
You have regret. So what happens is when you have that regret and then you're single and you haven't moved on, you still want that person. You still want some kind of like closure or maybe a redo. However, I agree with you and Jamal. Maybe she shouldn't have said anything first. She should have heard what he was saying. I think he intentionally came there with good intentions to say, listen, I'm sorry I kissed you, I'm engaged. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that was what he came there for.
Yes.
But he let her speak first, though.
Because she's a lady.
Opened up with. If that was that's what he should have opened with. Because
but he could have thought maybe she was about to tell him the same shit he was about to tell her.
Oh, I'm engaged. My bad for kissing you. No, she did that. Yeah, I think that it was just. We'll see how this unfolds. But right now, I'm with we're in alignment with this. No good could really come from it unless they set strong, strict boundaries. You do not. We don't need to be friends. when you see me in the street, you can just nod and keep it moving. But as of right now, this is messy. It's Messy Betty, and Messy Betty only gets messier.
Yeah.
And I don't like when she come around. So we're just gonna have to see.
Does he live in the same neighborhood? Because remember when she first peeped him, he was in her neighborhood, and she thought he was visiting. And then he said, "I moved back." So is he living?
Move to my neighborhood?
That's what I'm saying. Please, I'm moving out. Landlord, I'm gonna submit my 30-day notice because we not fit to do this. You're not gonna live in the same neighborhood as me, honey. No, sir.
Unless you're me, come see about me. You know what?
We can't have it. Out here. We are done because we all got triggered. And listen, we will see y'all again for episode 3. And y'all know where to catch the show, Amazon Prime. But until next time, we'll see you later.
Bye.
I